Okay.
Should you just dub in our footage from last time?
I thought it was
One more time. All right.
Hi, I'm Christy Ratcliffe. This is my informative speech. How many of you heard left brain, right brain? You're a left brain thinker. So today I'm going to walk you through what that actually really means. What happens on the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. So really, when you think about your brain, it's split into hemispheres. And the theory is that these hemispheres really relay and process information completely differently. So we're going to look at how the left brain sees things compared to how the right brain sees things. And then I'll leave you with a few tips on how to communicate with somebody who's opposite of you. So if you're a left brain and he's a right brain, communication might be a little tricky because you process things differently. So this is your brain on left. Good thing is for the left brainers, they tend to be called the smarter ones. They think everything has a proper order. Everything must be just so. And they're very linear about their thinking, and everything has a sequence. So you can't skip steps 1 through 3 and get to step 5. For us right brain thinkers are like, I know the end answer, I'll just go there. They're not that way. They have to, everything has to be just so. They also want to know if something's not working, why it's not working. The rest of us might not care why it's not working, we just know it's broke. They need to take things apart. A lot of boys seem to be this way. Take things apart, try to fix them, see what's not working. And like I said, they're very linear. They have an end goal, and they have to take all the steps to get there. They see things as little puzzle pieces, and they can't just see the big picture until they put all of that together. So some people might be able to see what's going on and see everything as a whole. Left brain thinkers process things in parts. So they don't see a whole, but they see all the little pieces that make the whole. They're very analytical. They are very logical. It's math, it's language. Technically, they're very good in school. School's really geared towards left brain thinkers because everything has a process, everything has a right answer, and they tend to be good at that. Curricular activities. So it's just the way that they pay attention to the details and they process the information on the left side of their brain that makes them a little bit stronger in those categories. So some of the things that left brain folks would be good at is law, engineering, accounting, finance, anything that has to do with really looking at everything in detail, computer programming, that's probably up there. These are really geared towards those left brain kind of thinkers. If you're a right brain, that would really bore you. Like you're not one to just sit and process information, you're kind of a little flaggy. There's a little left brain humor here. I thought this was pretty funny. This, left brain type of teacher saying, look, the equation is simple. If I have 5 bottles in one hand and 6 bottles in the other, what do I have? And you got your right brain answer, a drinking problem? So that's my little presentation humor for you. So this is your brain on right. Their face recognition, they really can sense emotion, sense the tone in your voice and how that affects how you're feeling. They are very musical, they're very creative, artsy. I would say my daughter's pretty much processes things in a right brain type of way. They see things in color and think everything's great when they're processing the data. They are visual learners. That's me. I can't just read, but I really need to see things done. I need to put my hands on it. I need to process it that way. I can't just read it out of a book and be like, oh, okay, I have the answer. That's not me. I'm clearly a right brain kind of processor because I have to see and do before I really get it. I don't memorize well, so again, that's clearly me. And abstract math is just not compatible to the right brain processor. So when I was going through this, in the beginning I thought, oh, I'm definitely left brain, right? I'm a finance minor, I work for a financial company, I work with numbers all day. I'm clearly not a left brain thinker. Might not be the smarter one, but I'm not the left brain thinker. And I thought this was really interesting. Right brains tend to have these really creative dreams and really colorful and can wake up and remember them. And another thing I thought was really interesting is when you compare the two, again, this is how I know I'm right brain. If they were taking a spelling test and the teacher says, words dog, left brain, D-O-G, dog, done, waiting for the next. The right brain's like, dog. Oh, geez, did I feed my dog today? Did I leave it water? Oh, the neighbor's dog was barking all night last night. Oh, the neighbors are away. Like, they just keep going off into this own little world in their mind trying to process this word dog. And then the teacher goes, okay, next one. They're like, wait, what was that? What was that? So that's kind of what happens in the right brain is they kind of escape themselves and get a little creative. That happens. Another thing I thought was interesting when you're thinking about how the right brain processes information, when they're talking to you and if you ask them a question, they'll look at you. But when they go to answer it, they may look away to the left. And it's not them shifting away or not keeping eye contact. They're actually shifting the process in their brain to the left side to process it and get you an analytical answer. So I thought that was really interesting, and I guess I'll try that next time I think I know somebody that's a right brainer. Some things they would be good at is graphic design, teaching, sales, because they're good with the emotional side and the emotional connection. You know, another thing I heard with sales, I was at a presentation, I do life insurance, and he was saying that because men tend to process life insurance or something of that purchase more as a financial impact and analytical, that you actually stand on the left side of them to have that sales conversation. He says, and then when you really want to say, look, this is what it's going to do for your family, he says you actually try to shift yourself and look them in the right eye. And that almost forces their brain to shift into the emotional side that they may not have got to on their own. I thought that was a little interesting. Right brains love rock and roll. I mean, not everybody loves rock and roll that processes things right brain. But there was a study done that it said that the right brain really prefers like more rock music. So I thought that was pretty cool. They embrace new ideas, they're future thinkers, and they really think anything's possible. Nothing's outside the limits of what can be done. But the problem with thinking, oh, we could do this, this is great, is they don't pay attention to all the details that may be the pitfalls and the reasons that that might not work. Because they leave all the details to the left. So the good thing is left brain or right brain, it's a preference. It's not an absolute. It's just more of how your brain processes information and what your preference is. You're not born left brain, right brain. There's nothing biological that's built into you, but it's just what your comfort zone is for processing information. So now you know a little bit of left brain, right brain, and maybe how other people might think differently than you. Any questions? Great.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does your right-handedness or left-handedness have any connection?
Your brain does the opposite. So my left brain controls my right side. And actually, Wisconsin Medical Center was doing studies on folks that have strokes, because if you have a right brain stroke, it's your left brain that goes paralyzed, or your left side that will go paralyzed. So they're trying to see if they can start having a stronger preference and get those folks to start using another side of their brain to start moving that body quicker.
So if you're left-handed, are you more likely to be right-brained?
That's a great question. I didn't look that up, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, let's look on that.
Yes, Logan, do you have a question about your brain?